Hey, hi everyone. I hope everyone is safe and doing well. My name is Maliha and I'm currently a third year undergrad student at Western. And today I'll be talking about being stuck in the negatives. So I'm going to
Good.
start off with an experiment that was done by Allison Ledgerwood in the Department of Psychology at UC Davis. She actually has a TED Talk about this, which I can link. But basically the experiment was as follows. So the participants were separated into two groups and they were told about a new surgical procedure. Group one was first told that the success rate was 70% and that the participants liked the new procedure. So they were explained the surgical procedure was explained as a gain. Group two was told that the failure rate was 30% and the participants didn't like the new procedure because they were explained about it as a loss. Then they told group one that they could think of it as a 30% failure instead of a 70% success rate. And now they didn't like it anymore. They were thinking about it as a loss instead. And then they told group two that they could think of the 70% success rate as they could think of it as a 70% success rate, so as a gain, but they still didn't like the procedure. They couldn't get past the losses. So this is actually known as the negativity bias, where when you have a gain, you feel the feeling of accomplishment for a momentary time. But when you feel like when you have a loss, that it's not momentary anymore. That kind of just keeps on going for a while. You're kind of stuck on your loss. So this is known as the negativity bias or the negativity effect. It is our inclination to attend to, learn from, and use negative information far more than we do positive information. So we tend to remember insults and negative comments easier than compliments. We tend to excessively focus on unpleasant events rather than the pleasant ones. We tend to focus our attention on negative information rather than the positive information. And we tend to react to negative stimuli more than positive stimuli. Basically, it's easier to remember and focus on the bad things rather than the good things. The reason this matters is because of self-esteem, which is the positive or negative feelings that we have about ourselves. So positive self-esteem, if it's positive feelings that we have about ourselves, that's high self-esteem. And if it's negative, then that's low self-esteem. High self-esteem occurs when we believe that we are good and praiseworthy and others have a positive view on us. And negative self-esteem occurs when we believe we are inadequate and less worthy. When we constantly focus on the negative experiences, our view on ourselves will change for the worse and we develop a negative self-esteem. So there was just this Twitter quote that I found post and I thought it was pretty funny. So he says, "I was in a park and a lady loudly called out, 'Anyone who wants an ice cream, come over here.' I headed over with several others and she handed out ices to them all and then asked me, 'Who are you?' I realized the rest were her family, and 30 years later, I still cringe." So it just shows how maybe a negative or embarrassing experience sticks with you for a very long time. Whereas I don't think the same would happen if it was a good, like something that was good, but not to a large extent. So how do we overcome the negativity bias? So being self-aware and challenging negative self-talk, thinking about what you're thankful for and realizing what you're saying may not necessarily be true. For example, if something embarrassing did happen, well, it doesn't happen all the time. So doesn't mean that you're stupid or, things like that. So just being self-aware and challenging your negative self-talk. Next is to be mindfulness and practice breathing and practice meditating. The third is cognitive restructuring. So basically kind of just like challenging your negative self-talk. And then the last is focus on the positive moments. So some questions to ask yourself are, is it a true fact? Does it serve your best interests? Does it improve your health and life? And does it get you what you want, need, or where you want to go? So whenever something like that just does happen and you're having trouble challenging your negative self-talk, these are some questions that you could ask yourself. And lastly, these are some helpful apps such as Headspace, Calm, Aura, Breathe, Mindfulness, and Mindfulness Daily that can help with those ways to conquer negativity bias. And yeah, that's about it.